What up? Big Herc 916. Positivity, motivation. I like to keep you guys laced up. Spitting game. You get game over here. I'm not doing a bunch of the shucking and jiving over here, And every now and then I got to throw in some cheek busting to keep you entertained. But, I was just sitting back talking with my partner, and we were chopping it up about how times have changed, and if this was the let's say the 15th 16th century, there'd be a world of hurt right now because a lot of these young simps, these young weenies out here, little tampon boys, couldn't make it, man. They wouldn't be able to protect their families. They'd become prey. And what I mean by that is that a lot of you guys out here who whine, complain, want to talk about entitlement, and you have no idea the history of conquering and what's been done to get to where you're at right now, to have this type of civilization and the level of barbarism, the pure evil and tyrannical mentality of the people who conquered before you. Bullying, man, there was no such thing as a bully in the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th century. You either were a savage or you weren't a savage. A lot of you guys are fascinated with, Viking and Game of Thrones and these shows where it shows people fighting and these wars and stuff, and it's entertaining. But man, if you were living during those times, or anything within 50 to 100 years of that, man, if you were on the losing team, the losing side of a battle, you weren't going to just go about your life. You were getting slaughtered. See, back then, if your family was anything as far as a hierarchy, nobility, aristocracy, your bloodline was getting wiped out because they could not risk you coming back, having loyalty to the prior leader to reclaim their throne. And as one of the things that happened, first off, is all your land was taken. So your family went from being rich to being nothing. And so it wasn't like you had anything to gain by working in servitude, because that's what you would be. And your wife, your kids would become slaves. And that was it. Wasn't no compromising, here, you can have my property and let me live. No, they were slaughtering. Those dudes literally got off on torturing and, making examples of people. And it wasn't limited to race. Everybody thinks nowadays, oh man, blah, blah, blah. And dude, race, it didn't matter what your skin color was. Every culture participated in some sense of just overthrowing those who they felt were weak. The conquistadors, the Spanish, when they went down to Mexico and seen the Mayans and all the gold and stuff, man, and these people were just living in civilized, society, and just things were peaceful, and there were so many riches. See, everybody thinks like, oh man, they conquered, they wanted land, they wanted riches. These people were driven by lust for power, wealth. Everybody wants to think that, oh man, no, they want to, if they can come in and enslave you and you was passive and you was weak, you were getting smashed. And if you didn't work hard enough, if you didn't mine the silver mines, the gold mines fast enough, they were cutting off limbs, man. These people didn't give a damn, and your kids were going into slavery. And now you look at it, man, all they got to do is show a bunch of shit on the news, and you bow down. You give up your whole livelihood of freedom because of the fear of the news. I can only imagine if you've seen some dudes rolling through with horses, with this armor on and swords, you know, what you would do. Would you just get on your knees and just say, cut my head off? I'm telling you, man, you guys, a lot of you, man, you have no idea. You know, everybody back then knew how to fight. The men were there to protect and to maintain the village or the tribe or the kingdom, and it was always power struggles. The women took care of the kids, you know, did the farming and made sure that things were, you know, situated so when the dudes came back from their crusades or their rampages, you know, or whatever their missions, that they were able to have some sense of self. But man, it wasn't like, you know, you went through and there was, you know, civilized communication when a village was taken over. One of the, you know, like I said, one of the main things was that your kids, your sons couldn't come back. The daughters were put into slavery, and the sons were slaughtered because they couldn't risk you feeling some kind of way coming back one to avenge your dad or your uncle, you know, or your cousin, or whatever the case may be, your brother. You know, it was a vicious cycle, man, and you had to have a mentality that was so beyond anything you guys could fathom right now. You would puke yourself, man. You'd be sick if you seen how they did people, man, publicly. How they, you know, in order for them to make a, you know, make a statement that what they did out of fear. And that's why they always, you know, slept with one eye open, because these same guys, these you know, these rulers, you know, you go through the list. I'm not going to get into the different names, but you can go Cecil Rhodes, you can go Leopold, you can go Napoleon, you can go some of the tribal leaders in Africa, who you can just name them, you know, and read your history, man, and see why whenever any of these people left power, it was by a violent means. It was never just letting it go and it went by easy. And that's why people sometimes waited for them to, if they couldn't kill them, wait for them to die. And if their sons were weak, they'd come in and just get rid of the son real quick, man, and you know, seize the throne. But the game was so vicious, man. You know, there are so many different ways that they implemented fear, and because of, you know, there wasn't no social media, fear was spread by word of mouth. Hello, I'm Big Herc 916. Contact me for life coaching and motivational speaking. Hey. I got that work. Hey, see, while y'all in quarantine, I got that work. Split the coronavirus wig, man. Hey, go to the link in the description and get your limited edition coronavirus wig splitter shirts. Big Herc 916 getting down fresh out.